Hello, this is The Age of Dust. My name is Dust, and I'm a regular at Speaker's Corner, a talker, a speaker, a thinker, and a tinker. And part of my channel is not just recording in-depth conversations that happen here, but also just to discover the human beings that dwell here and how they identify or even got here. So if you wouldn't mind, good sir, to introduce yourself and a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Please.
Yeah. My name is Kim. I am from Denmark, and I moved here 3 years ago. And I come here to Speaker's Corner to indulge my philosophical aspirations. I studied philosophy back in university, and now I feel it's a bit of a shame that I don't use it or I don't get the chance to have philosophical discussions anymore. So this is my way of doing it again, so to speak.
I think this is what Speaker Corner is very noted for. Not only just religious groups, but people like yourself and me come here for a what I would call reasoned talk and discussion. Reason, I'm defining that as references are quantifiable rather than ethereal. So how did you end up into philosophy first? I think that's very unique and wonderful, by the way.
Yeah, that was university. And it was pure accident because I was actually going for psychology, but it required a higher level of math than I was willing to take.
Wow. Okay.
So I went in philosophy. I guess I'll do philosophy then, and I knew nothing about it, hardly anything. And then I started being taught in philosophy by teachers there. I was like, wow, this is actually better than psychology, maybe.
Yeah, I think the two are obviously not. They are sort of linked, and there is definitely.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, learning one doesn't mean automatically you understand the other, but it certainly it gives you
it helps. Yeah,
a glimpse through the door.
Yeah, it definitely does.
That's fair. If you don't mind quickly asking, was your university free or was it?
It was free. I come from Denmark, so we go to university for free. We actually get paid to a certain extent to go to university.
And I'm going to ask you a stupid question.
Yeah.
So it's not for you or me; it's for the viewers.
Yeah.
So is it a socialist country?
It's more socialist than here. I'd say it's a socialist, capitalist. Could you call it? Yeah, social democratic country is probably what I would say.
And would you say it's one of the most richest countries in the world?
Yeah, it definitely is.
So there you
Among
go.
them.
So can we conclude from that the blend of socialism and capitalism has produced one of the most richest, wealthiest,
well put together countries? I think there could be a case for that. I've been wondering this myself. What caused Scandinavian countries and Scandinavian countries like that to rise so high and be fairly well off? And I think it's probably one of the reasons. I like to think if you strike a good balance between, say, capitalism and socialism, and have, at least take care of the bottom of society in a cohesive way, I think it's beneficial to all of society. At least I'd like to think that's the case. So, but obviously there's many factors that go into it, so I can't be 100% sure.
I think that having a free education is a human right to be able to,
I agree with that 100%.
a human right, because without that, how can you actually interpret and understand the world that's being projected onto you?
Yeah.
You can't. What is that you end up being seduced very easily by dictators and people who don't wish to do critical analysis, but wish really to own you and own the entity and community that you live in.
The quality of education
Quality of
is also important, right? That's also an important facet. Because
How do you make sure you're not being controlled by the state who controls your education?
education as a means of indoctrination. Well, it's a valid point. I mean, you can look at a lot of education. You see some of the sentiments going on now, right? You see some of the sort of the buzzwords today that are trickled down through education. But I don't think it's like either or. I don't think it's like.
I agree. I don't think it's either or. It's not black and white.
Well, to answer your question, the first easy and obvious step to that is first you have to teach human beings how to do critical analysis, how to understand that, yes, we do need education, and yes, education can be biased, it always is going to be biased, but how do we, as a rationed, passionate inquirer of our universe, our Earth, overcome the propaganda which can materialize from any quarter, be it socialist, be it capitalist, be
Sure.
it
Yeah,
religion. So critical thinking, if your community or university isn't introducing critical analysis as a main foundation stone, I think you've got to be suspecting that something very dodgy going on.
But interestingly enough, I mean, throughout all of my education, it was first when I came to university that they really started pounding it in or introducing critical analysis.
I agree.
They mention it sporadically in school, but they are usually more focused on can you pass the exams.
Can you memorize geometry?
There is a lot of that going on. So I'd say we could improve our education system by introducing it earlier on. But of course, you don't want it to go to the other end of the spectrum. You don't want kids to question everything too early before they know anything, right? That could be another problem you could encounter. So they could be like, oh, I think that everything you're trying to teach me here with math, it's just an indoctrination strategy. It's like, yeah, no, okay, maybe we don't want them to question too early, let's say. Be too early.
Sorry. No, I think, yeah, everything within reason, of course, but fundamentally it has to be there in the education system.
Sure.
And if
No, I
your
agree.
education system is basically telling you to, oh, this is what King Henry did on this date, and that's all you really need to know about history, you know there's something, you should be thinking to yourself, there's something seriously wrong going on with my education system.
Yeah. Well, it could also be just that I mean, I've worked at schools here a little bit, and a lot of them are economically strapped. Like the resources are very low, so they can only just barely get by.
Yes.
And they have to like be fairly sparse with the level of detail and just get the kids through the exams.
So this gentleman here had a free education, and also I believe that you alluded to the fact you may have even got a grant as well.
It's not really a grant. It's something that all students in Scandinavian countries do. At least, especially in Denmark, you get a little stipend from the state. It's not a lot, but you get a little bit of support for being a student. So yeah.
So do you think it's good having free education? That's a very long pause. I think we can all interpretate so much from a pause of that length that you've kind of weirdly answered the question.
It's hard to say. It's absolutely bad, right?
Sorry, could you mind just introducing yourself and where
Sure.
you're from?
I'm Abraham from the U.S.
All right, wow. So there you go.
Yeah, and I guess I got a free education as well, but that's because my wife worked at the school. So there was a grant there so I can't say too many bad things about it.
Okay, yeah, but you do have to get a grant, and there's only some
Right.
people that get the grant.
Right.
But at least they are there. Yeah.
Just a very important question. What do you think about so many books being banned in the USA?
I've never had trouble getting my hands on any book that I wanted to read.
You're a teacher. How do you feel about that? Do you mind?
I'm not a fan of banning books. I think if people want to read, they should be able to read whatever they want.
Do you think it's a symptom of something very disturbing and sick going on in your education system?
Yeah.
And where does that stem from, do you believe?
Controlling what people know and what they're able to know.
And so we can infer from that detailed answer that not knowing things is dangerous. And the more that we know about each other and the greater our education, not education just in a university sense, but an education just learning about different human beings, would you say that's a better society?
I think, yeah, I'd agree. I think the only danger you can run into, like trying to be the devil's advocate here, because normally I'm all for free education, but I suppose one danger you can run into, and which I did see at my university, is you take education for granted, or you're just there because you don't know what else you want to do. You're just like, I guess I'll just do this half-assed,
Yeah.
You go to school, but you
This
don't
is
learn
true.
any skills.
Yeah. Because you
And
don't
you
pay
come out
attention.
of school with a degree, but nothing that you can do with that degree.
That's a risk you can run as well.
I will propose a very simple remedy for what you've observed. Firstly, not everyone going to university isn't indulging in the best of it, but you are correct. There are people that just turn up and roll up
Yeah,
because they've got something
100%.
to do. But the way you would easily overcome that is simply making sure that at any stage in your life you can go to university for free and be supported. Or if you have a family later in life, make sure that's supported. That means because as we get older, let me almost finish. Because as we get older, we truly know what we are as human beings and what we want to learn. So, yes, your observations are correct and brilliant. And I reckon the easy way to overcome that is making sure, no matter what, you're entitled to free education and support at any stage in your life. Anyone disagree with that?
Well,
No, not necessarily. Oh, sorry.
okay, devil's advocate.
No. I'm not interested in devil's advocate. I don't play games like that.
Okay, all right.
I want to know what you feel and think.
No, I do think that's a reason. That's a good idea. It's very reasonable.
Especially if
But-
it improves your life, and it's not just for the sake of putting life on.
Sorry.
I am worried that you would have people going to school continuously, just going back to school and
Yeah.
new degree and forever
Students.
Yeah.
And is that a bad thing in society? Somebody knows things, as opposed to what we have in society, which is homeless people, people going hungry, people running into schools with guns. I think I prefer a world where someone, if they were that sort of way inclined, I'm not, and I'm sure most people are not. If they want to spend a lifetime in education, I'd much rather that than someone running around with an AK-47. I had to think about that. AK-47, not from America. I don't know my guns. AK-47 or an M4. Is that a thing? Or an M4 and plummeting any community down to the lowest.
As a big binary as well, right? But I see your point. That is like maybe it's better to at least educate people and give them that to do rather than do other things that are directly harmful to society. Yeah, sure.
If your worst crime is you're just learning all the time, I think I'm happy to live with that as a human being. It's not ideal, and to be honest, I think people like you and me will always be working and always be engaged as well as pursuing an education. Anyone like to wrap up with a happy thought about me, just a random positive thought about reality?
I don't have anything on my mind. I'm blank.
You're blank. We'll come. I don't think it's true, but we'll come back.
I appreciate rational discussion like this
That's
in an
fantastic.
opening setting.
Well, please go to my YouTube channel, The Age of Dust. On there, it's a new channel, but there are reasoned, thought-through debates happening at Speaker's Corner on my channel, The Age of Dust, and my name is Dust. So thank you very much for
Thank you.
being part of this, and please enjoy the rest of Speaker's Corner.
We're talking about education.
Pardon?
We're talking about education.
Yeah, I'm having to conclude the sentence, but I'll get back onto education if you stick around long enough. This was meant to be about you, though.
Oh yeah.
It's been all about you.
Well, that's
But,
the beauty of
this-
Speaker's Corner, isn't it? Should we? Okay.
All right, very
I
nice.
gotta be off.
And so you just thought you were an actor, and that's where you.
Yeah. I'm mostly earning my paychecks through teaching, but I do some acting as well. So.
All right. Well, I wish you well with that.
Yeah.
And hope to see you again at Speaker's Corner. And check out my YouTube because hopefully you will be on there once I learn how to edit quickly rather than so slowly.
Sure thing.
All right. Thank you ever so much.
All right. Thank you.
This is a Dust. I am now settled.